All right, people, let's get it poppin'! On a Wednesday, hump day, hottest show in these streets. We're talking your Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama magazine. Got a lot to get in store too on this evening, but you know what time it is right now, though? It's time for you to hit that like button. Tap in what you got. Hit that like button. Hit that thumbs up. Get those like levels going right there. We appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button as well. Make this your show, your platform, your space, your conversation area for all things Bama football. The daily super chat go $100 daily. Super chat go $100 right there. We appreciate that coming from all of you. Appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Tonight's conversation is on. I know with it being National Signing Day, we're getting to some National Signing Day talk, but tonight conversation is on. Does Bama still snag that college football playoff spot at number 11, seed at number 11, even if SMU falls to Clemson in the ACC title game this weekend? So, does Alabama still snag that number 11 spot for the college football playoff, the number 11 seed, even if SMU loses to Clemson this weekend? But definitely want to hear from all of you. Taking your phone calls, 205 448 1358. That's the number. It's right above my head, baby. 205 448 1358. One more time, 205 448 1358. I want to hear from all of you tonight. Light me up. Let it be made known what you're trying to say here on the show. Also, you can comment in the comment section, reading those comments as well. But for me, it's been a lot of conversation right now since the college football playoff rankings came out on Tuesday. So many people have opinions, whether these are national people, local media, fans alike, Uncle Mo down the street. Everybody's got an opinion. You look at this college football playoff rankings that have come out, and the committee put Alabama over Miami and over South Carolina. Alabama at number 11, Miami at number 12. I think South Carolina's 14. And Ward Manuel, the CFP selection committee chair, he came out speaking with Reese Davis of ESPN as to why the committee did what they did with Alabama State and how Bama's strength of schedule, the toughness of its schedule, and with it having 3 wins over top 25 teams, Miami with none for top 25 teams. Also, Alabama 6-1 against opponents with a winning record. Miami are only 4-2. The committee said, hey, you cannot deny what Alabama has done, even despite the bad loss to Oklahoma. So the easiest thing would be, SMU wins, they handle business. Alabama just slides into that number, just slides into the college football playoff at that number 11 spot. But for us as people, we like all the scenarios in play, right? What happens if SMU loses? Does Bama still get in? What happens if Clemson wins? Does Alabama still get in? Well, I look at that scenario as if Clemson beats SMU like a drama, then I see Alabama getting in. If it's a very, very close, narrow loss, then you have a debate between SMU and Alabama, which at that point, I think Alabama gets in over SMU. That's just my opinion. But we'll see how the college football playoff committee, what they say, what they do, how they interpret, this whole thing. But gotta shout out my man SEC Flex is already in here. I think SMU could possibly drop out if they lose. Now, the committee chair did say that there is potential that if SMU loses, could they fall behind Alabama on Selection Sunday? Warden Manuel said, yes, potentially, yes. If SMU falls to Clemson this weekend, they could potentially fall behind the Crimson Tide when it comes down to Selection Sunday. C. Hutch writes in, you're right, we shall see. We'll see what the committee does. We'll see. We have seen in the past, the College Football Playoff Committee has done some crazy stuff. We have seen teams not make it into their conference championship games, but get into the college football playoff. We have seen teams lose their conference championship game and still make the playoff. We have seen teams lose their conference championship game and being left out the playoff. So the committee's done some stuff. And you don't necessarily know which criteria they will use to justify their point. You never know. Like you just never know. That's why you being Alabama football, you didn't want it to come to this, right? You wanted Alabama to handle their own business. Like if you beat Vanderbilt, you beat Tennessee, you beat Oklahoma, you don't have to go through all of this rigmarole and scenario. You wouldn't have to do it. Bama handle business, you win, you end, that settles it. But because of the fact that Alabama did not make it easy on themselves by handling their own business, now we got to deal with all this rigmarole in these scenarios. And that's what I have to present to you, the Alabama football fans, the best way that I can do so here. Hutch agrees with me, saying facts. SEC Flicks comes back with all the talk about Bama getting in over South Carolina is BS. We met on the football field, and the big question is who won? Alabama beat South Carolina on the field. That is correct. Alabama beat South Carolina on the field. That is absolutely correct. But 205-448-1358, the number to call in to let your voice be made known on the show. 205-448-1358, taking all calls tonight. 205-448-1358. You got a thought? You got an opinion? You want to let your voice be made known here? Hey, ring the phone lines right here. But as we transition, prior to transitioning from this talk of the college football playoff committee into some national signing day stuff, I've been getting a chance to look at a lot of these national media and just their thoughts of what's happening right now with the playoff. ESPN college football playoff expert Heather Dinich gave her thoughts today about why the committee chose Alabama over Miami, going to that strength of schedule, strength of resume. Paul Feinbaum of ESPN basically said, look, Miami had a chance to get into the playoff, but they threw up all over themselves in the matchup there against Syracuse. You're up by 21 points, and you flat blow it. You're up by 21 points on the road in the Carrier Dome. You flat blow it. You even have my guy Pat McAfee saying how is there a way that SMU could lose but Alabama could still get in, and he broke that down. Stephen A. Smith of ESPN talking about how disgusted he is with Alabama and disappointed, and they shouldn't even be in the top 12. But yet Stephen A. Smith at one point was saying roll tide bigger than everybody else, but that's besides the point. So we moving to now. National Signing Day, people, was today, the early signing period. Alabama looking like it's got the number 2 or number 3 class here in college football. Pulled in some good names today. We want to talk about Keelan Russell, 5-star quarterback from Duncanville, Texas. He's in here. Will be an early enrollee. Keelan Russell can make all the throws on the field. Very accurate young man. Can move in that pocket, can escape the pocket, extend the play. At 6'4", 190 pounds, a 2-time state champion, going after his 3rd state championship there in Duncanville, Texas. He was the Elite 11 MVP. You already got, Keelan saying the right things. He's trying to win a Heisman Trophy. He's trying to get Alabama to a national championship. So really like Keelan Russell. You look at this offensive line that Bama brought in. Now, I know people are saying, Steven, Ty Haywood, what's going to happen to him? Haywood may end up flipping to Michigan, but you still have Jackson Lloyd, you still have Mal Waldrop, you still got Michael Carroll, you still got Micah DeBose. That's still a strong offensive line, 4 guys right there. If not to mention, Alabama could test the portal. Bama could test the portal for offensive tackles that could offer some competition here when you go into the spring of next year and, of course, next season. But before I continue my point here, we're going to go to the phone line. We got a call in queue. You are live, baby. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
I'm feeling good with this good recruiting class, and this is Mike calling from Austin, Texas.
All right, Mike. Hey, Mike, I'm feeling good with this class, too. You got Keelan Russell. You got offensive linemen in this class. I really like the two defensive backs you got with Chuck McDonald and my guy Dijon Lee Jr. I like the receiver Brooks out of New Jersey. That guy's a vertical threat.
Yes, and shout out to Coach DeBoer for this, continuing the good recruiting. Shout out to that. And shout out to apparently the man behind the scenes, Courtney Morgan. I haven't heard much about him today, but apparently he's doing a great job.
Big dog right there.
That's
your general manager. He is literally the boots on the ground, not just in recruiting, Mike, but getting all these guys the right NIL, doing it the right way.
Doing it the right way. You're exactly right, Stephen. We got the number one player in California, the number one player in Texas, the number one player in Florida, and the number one player in Arizona as a cherry on top. And they're all great players. So the future is bright. The dynasty continues. So, and this is on, like I say, this is DeBoer and Courtney Morgan. This isn't Saban. So I'm glad that part of the dynasty continues. So very good about the class. But on top of that, with this new quarterback coming in from Duncanville, I mean, like, what's Ty Simpson going to do? Because honestly, Ty Simpson deserves a medal for not transferring from this point. He could probably be a starter almost anywhere else just by the nature of being on our roster for so long. But what are these guys on the roster going to do for so long, for the next year or two? I guess this quarterback from Duncanville is just going to have to, learn for a year or so. It's not expect to start right away. But I guess. But like I say, I'm just very excited about it. But hey, Stephen, on your question, man, about the playoffs, right? This is a topic to me that needs a lot of discussion. The reason why is this. Now, I don't know if we're going to I think we're going to make it. I think we're going to make it to the playoffs. The reason why, if we weren't, they want to put us in there. That the committee wants to put us in there. That's why they put us where they did. And if they didn't, they would have left us out already. If they didn't, but Stephen, here's my point, man. Here's my point I'm trying to make, dude. Like the Texas Longhorns, for example, they play in the most pathetic schedule I've seen in 50 years of SEC football, and it makes me mad how pathetic their schedule is. And the only one good team they played, Georgia went out there, whooped their behinds. I mean, so it's there. But you look at the rankings. You look at the rankings on the SEC top to bottom, and look at Texas's schedule. It is absolutely pathetic, and that goes for SMU. That played Houston Christian. Duncanville, Texas can beat Houston Christian, by the way. And it's so, but with that being said, I know Bama has 3 losses, but you've got to look at like Nick Saban's always said, the body of work, the complete body of work. There's no excuse for losing the OU game. If we get left out, I'll point to the OU game and say, okay, we controlled our own destiny. We went in there straight up, got whooped, no excuse, right? And so if we don't go, I'll point to that. Why? Because up until that point, we controlled our own destiny. But look at the rest of SMU's schedule. It's nowhere near as tough as our schedule. And I guarantee if SMU or Miami or any of these guys had to navigate what Alabama and Florida and some of these other SEC teams have to navigate week to week to week, SEC physicality, week to week to week, they would get crushed. They would cancel their season right about, well, you know what I'm saying. They would throw in the towel right about week 8 because their players wouldn't physically be able to perform anymore. My point is this, Stephen, in major college football, you got two levels of football. You've got all the classic teams that we know of, like Bama and all these other good teams. Then you've got these second level, high level teams. I consider like SMU and TCU that are Cinderella teams, but their schedule and the level of competition is just nothing like it is in Alabama. So what the SEC has to play, not Alabama, the SEC has to play, except for the Texas Longhorns. That's pathetic. The schedule's pathetic. And the only good team they did play, they got beat. But hey, man, that's where I stand on that, brother, man. So I hope we get in. I hope we get in because we kind of deserve to get in, but we kind of don't to get in. So once again, just like last year, and I think the year before, if we get in, we're going to have to backdoor in because of these rough SEC schedules, man. As compared to the Big Ten, you got three or four really. I don't even know how good their top teams are, to be honest with you. I know how good they are. Ohio State's the biggest posers in the history of college football. They're 2-14 versus the SEC in bowls. Anyway. The playing fields are not level, and I'm glad that the committee might take that into account and say, yeah, look at SMU's schedule, look at Bama's schedule. It is night and day. P.S. Texas and Miami, I don't think they played a top 25 team. I don't think they have a top 25 win all year. I know Texas has a top 25 butt whooping. I watched that one on TV, but they ain't had a top 25 win all year. Not a level playing field, man. I hope the committee takes it into account. Stephen, good luck. God bless you, my man. You take care.
Absolutely. Mike from Austin calling into the show, getting started here on a Wednesday, 205-448-1358. Number to call in, 205-448-1358. You got a thought, you got a point, you got an idea, let it be made known here, 205-448-1358. Got a couple of super chats. My man, Big Bill! Bill from New York! With that $7 donation. You are the best, Stephen Todd Road. What do you think the chances are of Milroe declaring for the draft? Bill, good question. I think they're high, right? Everybody's got Milroe big on their board here. Todd McShay, Mel Kiper Jr., Bucky Brooks, Daniel Jeremiah, whoever you subscribe to for your NFL draft mock stuff, they got Milroe, either quarterback 2 or quarterback 3 on their board. I think it's high. And I think Milroe strikes the iron. Shouts out to Fuzzy Balls with that $5 donation. Fuzzy Balls. If SMU loses a close game or an overtime, they're in. If Clemson wins comfortably, then Bama is in. If I were advising SMU, they should skip the ACC championship game. Fuzzy Balls, you're on the same vibe as I am. If SMU loses close, it's going to be SMU and Clemson in the playoff. If Clemson blows out SMU, then Bama's in. If SMU beats Clemson in any way, shape, or form, Bama's in. But appreciate Fuzzy Balls there with that donation right there. But we go back to the call lines right here. You are live on the show, baby. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name, where you calling from. This is my man Raven right here.
Steven, what's happening, man? You got the backdrop going on. You in New York City with Jimmy Fallon?
Man, you know what? I'm trying to get Jimmy to answer the phone, Wade, and Jimmy don't answer the phone.
Man, that man making as much money. He has somebody answer the phone for him. What's going on tonight, man?
Doing good, Wagon. I mean, everybody, the main conversations you look at, can Bama get into this playoff even if SMU were to lose to Clemson? And of course, I'm giving my thoughts here on that. I think if SMU loses close, the committee will try to bump Bama out, have SMU as the at-large, and have Clemson the ACC champion. If Dabo goes out there and just knocks SMU out the water, then it'll be Clemson and Bama going in. It's just so many different scenarios right now. The committee wants Bama in there. That's why they put Bama at 11. The committee wants them in there.
Yeah, they want them in there, but it's they've how many ranked teams has Alabama beat this year? You got to compared to some of these guys. What's up? 3 exactly. Yeah, I mean, what's going to happen when we go to a 16-team playoff? What's going to happen then?
Wait a minute. I kind of Presidente, I kind of don't want that because, I mean, you look at here, it was a 4-team playoff, and people complain, I got left out, and I won my conference and got left out, and this happened and that happened. So then it was a whole debate of, does it need to go to 6 teams? Does it need to go to 8 teams? Then we finally made this 12-team experiment, and now you still got folks complaining, well, if it go to 16 teams, you still gonna have somebody at number 17. Why I have a good resume?
Exactly. You'll be pulling your hair out on this show if they go to a 16-team playoff. I thought everybody.
If they go to 17, Waylon, look, if they go to 17, if they go to 16 teams, Waylon, I'm just gonna fill out me an application and have them make me a part of the playoff committee.
Exactly. Yeah, you might as well get a few more folks on the playoff committee because we're gonna have to have it. Because people said the 12 team would solve all the problems. Well, it's not solved any problems. We can see that.
As a matter of fact, it's created even more problems.
It ain't done nothing but create problems. Exactly. And I'm dumb as a box of rocks. You can shake some rocks and they'll make some sound when you shake them up, but I don't even make no sound. But anyway, we just gonna have to wait it out and see what happens next week, see what happens with these championship games, and I'd like to see Alabama and Clemson both in there myself. I mean, a lot of people don't like Clemson. We've had some battles with Clemson in the past. They had some, I guess, generational talent there that came in. The talent couldn't get to Alabama or Georgia, but hey, they're in there. He's an Alabama man, so put them in there. We'll see what happens. And, all the people in the chat, y'all looking good. All the people donating, calling in. We love all y'all. Y'all keep this show going. Without y'all, there wouldn't be no show. Y'all exactly what keeps this show running and keeps Steven on his toes 3 days a week. I'm telling you what, he loves it, though. All right, I love all y'all. Have a good week. Have a safe weekend. Watch these championship games, and we'll see what happens next Tuesday night. Bye-bye, everyone.
Appreciate the President Waylon calling into the show here on a Wednesday. We're going to slide over this call right here. Guess what? You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name. Where you calling from?
Hi, it's Stephen, Bill from New York. How you doing, my friend?
Bill, I am fantastic, brother. I am good. You got the committee. Then put Bama at 11. They want Bama to be in this thing. So the easiest scenario would be SMU, do what your job is, beat Clemson, Bama slides in there at 11, and you go and you take on Notre Dame round 1. But if Clemson ends up winning this thing, Dabo Swinney, please wipe the floor with SMU, and Bama gets in that way.
Oh, yeah. Hey, listen. The thing is, if we get in the playoffs, and I know, we all know we didn't have a great season this year, but if we get in the playoffs, I'd love to play some of these imposter teams. And Notre Dame is one of them, please. Indiana. Everybody, all these sportscasters, oh, Indiana, this and that, please. The high school teams could beat them. I don't know what they're talking about. But I want to talk a little about next year, too. I'm not quitting on this year. I think we got a shot for the reasons I said. I don't see any team that's that great that we couldn't possibly beat. But I think next year we're going to be a better team. And I'll tell you why. Look, I don't want to be controversial. I think that we might not have a quarterback with Milroe's raw talent, but I kind of believe that we have a good chance of more consistency, let's say, at the quarterback position, and I think that means a lot. I hope that my man, number 5, comes back, Bernard. I watched him from early in the season until what he is now. That guy's good. He can play. Prentice disappointed me. You know what? He turned out to be a little light in the air, whatever, And I think the team is looking good. We got linemen coming in. We got linemen coming back. I'd love to see somebody who could move Proctor to right tackle and maybe get a left tackle somewhere. I'm liking it, Stephen. It's all good. It's all about Roll Tide, and it's all about you with your great show. You know what I mean?
Bill, absolutely. And Bill, I actually like your point of Proctor to right tackle. If that happens, then you can look at either having Wilkin Formby at left tackle, or there's been some rumblings. Does Alabama pursue the portal? Because the portal opens Monday of next
Right.
week. Does Bama pursue the portal next week and get an experienced left tackle out of the portal?
That'd be great. And I like this kid McVay coming up. He looks vicious. You know, he looks like our kind of player. I heard him on the talk show one time. He sounds nutty. I like that. Well, you know,
I mean,
that's the kind of guy I like in the team.
McVay is from East St. Louis. He a different kind of kid. McVay is a different kind of kid. So it's going to be very interesting when the portal opens next Monday. How does Kalen DeBoer do it? Does he and this staff, do they go after an offensive tackle in the portal, or do they take the move of, we trust the guys we have, we like the guys we have, let's see if our offensive tackles are among what we already have?
Well, yeah, well, I'm going to let you go, Stephen, and I'm going to say you're a different kind of podcaster. You're the best there is, and thanks for taking my call, brother.
Absolutely. Bill from New York, my man Bill, calling in here on a Wednesday. Appreciate him. We're going to roll on down to this call here, and guess what, baby? You are live on the show. What's happening, how we feeling? State your name, where you calling from.
What's going on, Steve? And this your boy Smooth calling out the ATL, man. How you doing tonight?
Smooth, I'm doing good, bruh. Bama, good recruiting class right now. They're sitting at 2 or 3 at this point. I know that Bama was able to flip Meadows, the big-time receiver from LSU. LSU is imploding right now. So you were able to flip Meadows. Alabama right now, 11 in the playoff rankings. SMU handle business. If not, Clemson, smack them up. Bama's getting in this thing one way or another.
Yes, sir. That's what I'm calling. I'm calling to put all the Alabama fans' minds at ease. Hear me out. This how I know Alabama gonna get in the playoffs. First of all, let's start with one of the points that the playoff committee brought up. The reason why they put us over Miami is because we had more quality wins. We have more quality wins, which lets me know that this the committee respect quality wins. Second of all, if Clemson win, they are winning as the number 17th ranked team in the playoffs right now. So I feel like if Clemson wouldn't have lost to South Carolina and Clemson would have been already in the playoffs, and you would have had 2 playoff teams playing each other, then SMU, if they lost to an already playoff team, they would have more of a chance or more of a fight or a better resume, where we already lost to a playoff team. But with them losing to Clemson, and Clemson, the number 17 team, on top of Clemson losing to a team last week in South Carolina that Alabama already beat, that don't really help SMU resume. And they already don't really, they 0-1 against teams that's in the top 25 as of right now. On top of, the committee already said if the teams that are idle this week, that are not playing, they cannot move up or down in the rankings. On
that
top
was big.
of
That was big for them to say that. Right. That was big.
On top of, the committee, when asked if SMU lose, can they fall behind Alabama? The committee said potentially. They got to shut up, Stephen. There's no need to fear. But regardless, even if we don't get in the playoffs, we did it to ourselves, Stephen. You know what I'm saying? I would love for us to get into the playoffs as an Alabama fan. But if we don't get into the playoffs, we can't get mad, because we had our opportunities to take care of business, and we didn't. But those are just my thoughts right now. Like, I ran it down. I said, we get in the playoffs regardless of if Clemson win or SMU win. But we definitely need SMU to win. We definitely gonna be SMU fans this weekend. But if Clemson win, I think we still gonna get in. What you think, Stephen? Just by what I just said, what you think about that?
My guy, smooth, pretty much. I mean, if SMU wins by 1 or SMU wins by 100, Bama's in, right? Because SMU would have
Right.
gotten it done. If Clemson blows SMU out the water, Alabama's in because the committee's going to say, well, SMU schedule is basically just like Miami's. So the SMU
Right.
schedule is basically just like Miami's. Alabama still has the better resume in terms of top 25 wins and wins versus opponents with a winning record. Bama's in there either way. The only way Bama's not in there is if SMU loses in a tight one.
It's going to be interesting. We'll see. That's going to be interesting. But at the end of the day, it's still a loss, though. You know what I'm saying? I get it. But I still think regardless, and I could be wrong. At the end of the day, we're going to see. But I still feel regardless that this, like we said, this committee want to put Alabama in, you know. And at the same time, even if that is the case, SMU still, if they lose to Clemson, they still low-key have the same resume that's similar to Miami. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I feel like we're going to get in regardless, because it's hard for you to say that when they still low-key got already put Alabama in over. So we'll see. We just have to wait and see, man. But, man, I just want to say thank you. Thank you, Steven, for being consistent, still being consistent, and still bringing us this Alabama news. And I want to just give you a shout out and just remind everybody that you rightfully one of the pioneers when it comes to Alabama podcasting. You definitely one of the first person I remember could ever really doing this. And everybody just, you know, took your blueprint and start doing they own thing. But I just want to say, you know, thank you, and I appreciate you, Steven, man. Just keep on doing you, brother.
Hey, Smooth, I appreciate you calling in, brother. Thank you for all that you just said right there. Smooth calling in out of Atlanta, helping us out on a Wednesday. We're going to cha-cha slide to this caller right here. And guess what? Hold on. And, you're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name. Where you calling from?
It's CJ from T-Town, Steve. What about it?
CJ, I'm doing great, brother. I'm doing great. We got this recruiting class in here for Alabama. I'm liking what DeBoer is doing on the offensive line with this class. I like the defensive backs Bama brought in. You flip a wide receiver from LSU. I like the Meadows kid, Keelan Russell.
That's what I asked. Yeah.
Keelan Russell is a big-time guy, quarterback. I like this class.
Yeah, I think I heard, who was it was going off on the Meadows kid? It was, I can't remember, but the 6'6", 200 pounds, man, that is stout up there. And you said he moves like Ryan Williams or better.
I mean,
that's going to be a tag team from hell.
Like that boy is moving. Him, and you get the Brooks kid out of New Jersey. The Brooks kid got routes. Ooh. He got routes. He can get vertical quick.
Well, I heard a lot about, you know, the recruitment is going to drop off because Saban wasn't there anymore, but it seems like it's staying pretty good, and that's very good. But one thing I wanted to ask you, I haven't heard, and maybe you addressed it, maybe it's not even relevant. I don't know. I just heard nobody talk about it. I may just be stupid, but does the UNLV game in Boise, does it do anything? Does that mean anything, or what for Bama or the poll?
CJ, I don't think that on the surface means anything. Now it could if if other pieces of chaos happens, but I don't think that means anything. I think the main thing for Bama is the ACC championship game this weekend between Clemson and SMU. That's the main thing for Alabama, and that's if SMU wins, it doesn't matter by what margin. If SMU wins, Bama's in, and Bama would take on Notre Dame in round 1 of the playoff. Now, if SMU loses, it depends on the style of the loss. If SMU gets blown out by Clemson, SMU is out of there, and it's Clemson and Alabama. But if SMU loses in a tight one, then you make the committee think, Clemson's going to go in, but you make the committee think, do we penalize SMU because they lost in a close one, or do we put SMU in because they lost in a close one and you leave Alabama out? So the ACC championship game, CJ, is the biggest thing for Bama.
So the Heather girl from I don't know, SEC or something. I don't know if she says the Homer or what. But she said Clemson had to beat SMU for Bama to get in, and that just didn't make no sense to me.
No, because if Clemson, so Clemson already, I think Clemson already has 2 losses, if I'm not mistaken. So SMU has 1 loss. SMU beats Clemson. That gives Clemson their 3rd loss. They're out because SMU only has 1 loss. So if SMU beats Clemson, no matter what the score is, if SMU finishes on top of Clemson, Clemson's out, and it's SMU and Alabama in there. Now, if Clemson wins, Clemson goes in as the ACC champion, but it just becomes what happens to SMU and Alabama.
That's exactly what I thought. So, not to beat a dead horse, but if Boise loses, I mean, they're supposedly ranked 10th, right? So they're just not going to move if they lose.
So if I know the committee chair, Ward Manuel mentioned the teams that are idle this week, they wouldn't move. I know Boise State plays, so Boise wouldn't move if they lose. They would move because they play. They're not idle. The committee said all the teams that are idle this week that have no games, they wouldn't move. So because Boise plays UNLV, they would still move, win or loss. They would still move.
Yeah, well, I don't know. The guy that was talking was just confusing me because I didn't understand what he was exactly meant. Because if Boise loses, then that's going to bump Alabama up a spot, correct?
I mean, naturally, yes, it would. I mean, because Boise's what, 10? Yeah, Boise's 10.
So I've heard.
So if Boise were to lose, naturally, just off the natural feel of things, that should bump Alabama up. But then, once again,
I've heard
CJ,
nobody talk about that. No one.
Right. But once again, CJ,
nobody said it.
You know as well as I do, this committee, they put out criteria, but we don't know if they follow their own criteria half the time.
Right.
Like,
well, I heard all the pundits today on the SEC and everywhere, and everybody's talking about SMU Clemson, but nobody even mentioned the ULV Boise State. Nobody that I heard.
Nobody's really talking about that game. And it's like you said, CJ, if Boise State drops out, if Boise State falls to UNLV, then naturally Alabama should move up because of the fact that Alabama didn't play anybody. And the committee sat there and said, well, if you're idle, you're not going to drop. So if you're not going to drop, obviously you should move up.
Well, I'm gonna pull UNLV either way. I don't understand the whole concept of what's going on, but you figured you watch 6 hours of ESPN and this and that, somebody would have mentioned that game, but no one did. So I appreciate you helping me clear it up a little bit, Stephen. It's always good to talk to you. Love the show, and roll tide.
Absolutely. Appreciate CJ calling in from T-Town. Like, people, this is why we have shows like this. So we can all come together to have an understanding and get some clarification. Because if you're watching all the national people, they'll have you more confused than anything. Because as CJ just brought up, no one's talking about Boise UNLV. And Boise loses that game, you got to think Bama's got to move up. Just saying. For 205-448-1358, the number to call in. 205-448-1358 on a Wednesday. One more time, 205-448-1358. If you got thoughts, you got questions, you got an opinion, if you just want to come on here and just shoot the breeze with your boy, you know what to do. The number right above my head, 205-448-1358. But we're going to go to this comment right here from my boy. Jarvis S. is in here. He says, Stephen A. Smith is a clown. Jarvis, look, I get compared to that man so much. I mean, all I want is for one of his checks to accidentally hit my inbox one time. I'm set for life. Just have one of his checks accidentally hit my mailbox. I'm set. The next place you'll find me is probably on a boat somewhere in Cancun if one of his checks just accidentally hit my mailbox. Ben Allen, hit the like button, folks. Ben know what it is. Hit the like button. People drop that thumbs up. We appreciate that. Mitch is in here. Look, man, the new college football playoff is not a perfect system. It's not. And I'm sure at some point it will get a little better. This is the first year of the system, but it is what it is. Yes, Ben, I get it. Yes, Mitch, I get it. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. We just have to make do with what it is. But we're going to go. We're going to take this call right here. You are live on the show, baby. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name. Where you calling from?
Hey, I'm Clayton. I'm calling from San Diego.
Clayton, how you doing, man?
Hello?
What's going on?
Oh, I'm all right. Hey, so I got a question. The Big 12, they don't get a spot in the playoffs? The champions of that?
Yes, they do. So the Big 12, this how it's being projected, man. So the Big 12, they win the championship game, they would have them slotted as the 12th seed.
But wouldn't that knock off Alabama? No.
Well, no, that wouldn't knock off Alabama because of the fact that whoever wins the Big 12 championship, whether it's Arizona State or Iowa State, they would just slide in there. Like that would knock off Alabama. Alabama is at the at-large bid. Alabama's
both
trying for
of
an
them right
at-large
now,
bid right now. So you're looking at the
when
four
you
conference
say
champions, that being the SEC, the Big 10, the Big 12, and the ACC. Those are your conference champions. They go in there. Alabama is now shooting for an at-large bid.
Oh, okay. So number 12 would be slotted out for the Big 12.
Yeah.
Okay. And what about the Tulane and Army? What conference is that?
I want to say Conference USA. Yeah,
they're
Conference
not in the
USA.
playoff. They don't get a spot. They don't get a spot
because
in
of the fact
playoffs?
that they're not in one of the power conferences. They would not. Now, maybe they could slide in for one of those other at-large bid spots. We will see, but they would not get a spot, knowing that they're not in one of the power. They're not in one of the Big Four.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I think Alabama's going to get in regardless because it just like if you're just explaining it just how you did, it looks like it's just going to be Clemson or SMU, you know. It shouldn't be both of them, you know.
Yeah, so it looks like here. It looks like here. It's going to be Clemson. Yeah, if SMU beats Clemson, Bama's in with SMU. If Clemson beats SMU, it just depends on what the margin of victory is for Clemson. If it's a close margin of victory, then you may have the committee go Clemson and SMU go in. If Clemson blows out SMU, then it's Clemson, Bama going in.
Okay, I get it. Well, that's all I wanted, just some clarification. And I think Alabama's in, but yeah, that's all.
Appreciate the call right
there.
Appreciate the show, man. Absolutely. Appreciate the call right there from my guy on a Wednesday. I know, Bama Nation. I know, y'all, it's confusing. I know college football fans, it's confusing, y'all. I mean, I know how wacky these scenarios are for everybody to try to digest, understand, and take in. So my job here in sports communication, in podcasting, in broadcasting, in journalism, is to try to bring some type of clarity to this jumbo. That's all I'm trying to do. And so hopefully I'm doing the very best that I can in trying to make this thing clear for you guys. But we're going to take this next call here. You are live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name. Where you calling from?
Steve, what's up with you, man? This is Jay. Can you hear me?
Jay, I can hear you loud and clear, brother. What's going on?
Yeah, man. It's simple, y'all. We need SMU to win, and we in. It's pretty simple, gang.
Period.
Yeah, y'all kind of taking the thunder away from talking about these recruits that we just got. Now we got a 6'4" corner,
Hey,
baby.
Jay, these recruits some big time boys now.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think enough people talking about old London Simmons. Have y'all seen that big man move down there, man?
Look, I'm saying this. London Simmons, bit more athletic version, more athletic moving version of Tim Keenan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's perfect right there, Steve. That's perfect, man. He's a tap dancing bear, man. I mean, the man got
And also,
10 sacks.
Jay, the fact that you got the JUCO kid. Now he was committed first to Bama, but he had to go to JUCO. You got Steve Umbamoa from Canada. That boy bad too.
You know what I'm saying, brother? We don't need you to speak no English. Just put belt to ass when you get here, sir. Just know what you need to do.
I'm just saying. You don't gotta say nothing but I like Canadian bacon, but go out there and kill somebody.
That's it, man, because we ain't had no dogs. I don't want to disrespect, but I just feel like we ain't had no dogs on the D-line in a minute, y'all. Like, I'm pretty pumped up about this class.
The last one was
Christian
Barmore.
Come on now, like, hey, I feel like with these two fellas you just named now, I feel like we kind of get back to the old Bama way now. We just need Kane to understand that we need 4 down linemen, but that's another conversation. Man.
I feel like, Jay, I feel like with everything we didn't put on Kane, I feel like starting here with this playoff and then going to the spring, I think it'll finally wire in the Kane mind. Have 4 big dudes down on the line, bruh.
It's simple, Steve. He just want to be stubborn and run his dad in defense. I understand. We all want to make daddy proud and all, but sometimes you got to go against the grain, sir.
Sometimes you got to go against the grain. Pops, I love you, but let me run my own thing.
You know what I'm saying? I respect it, but hey, man, we get in this playoff now. We know we got to play mistake-free football all the way through. You're not going to get no calls, Bama. You're not going to get a holding, a passing offense, or nothing. So you got to come out and go old school Bama. I was excited to see Justice Jam run the ball 28 times. It made it so much easier for Nero. What you say,
Steve? About that, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's Alabama football. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that you got 2 more running backs behind them of the same caliber, man, we gotta run the ball down people throw if we get in this playoffs. We going up that wherever we go, it's gonna be cold that first game. If it's Notre Dame or Penn State, and home cooking is a mother when you go up there. So hey, man, Bama run the ball. We get in this playoffs. Let's just. Oh, man, Steve, I've been talking so much smack today at work, I don't know what to say that.
Hey, Jay, we're just going to have our focus on SMU take care of business, and we'll see everybody on Selection Sunday.
Ooh, it's going to be some long lips out there. Y'all let it hang, Bama. Put it in their face. Talk your smack, Bama, because when we get in, we winning the whole thing, and that's what everybody really afraid of, y'all. So, talk that smack now. SMU come through for your boy. That boy, he's 9-1 in the championship game. He's a great coach in that game. So, let's just hope that SMU ain't got ain't scared and they willing to pull it on out. You know what I'm saying? Roll Tide, I love y'all, baby.
Appreciate my man Jay calling in the show. Give us his thoughts here on Wednesday. 205-448-1358. But I'm going to call in at 205-448-1358. But Jay is correct, though. All of his playoff talk, Bama did get some big-time recruits today. Bama did get some big-time signees today. Keelan Russell's the headliner, but you've got Chuck McDonald, you got Deshaun Lee Jr., you got Mal Waldrop, you got Michael DeBose, you got Michael Carroll, you got Jackson Lloyd, You got Luke Metz. I mean, Bama got some dudes now. You flip the Meadows kid from LSU. You got the Brooks kid at wide receiver from New Jersey. Bama got some guys. You got London Simmons. You got Steve Umbamoa. Bama brought in some recruits, some signees. You got a Keelan Gear, the running back in this class. So I'm just saying, Bama got some folks that can sign in this 2025 class. Proud about that. Now, of course, I would have loved to have seen more in-state kids. Bama only got 2 in-state. They went out and got 7 from California. I would like to see DeBoer put a border around the state of Alabama here. Get some talent in these in-state kids, Debo. Border around the state. But at the very least, got some good kids here, so I'm happy about this. Run the Table Sports TV in here. Steve, are we up in there? In terms of the playoff, absolutely. Who dat for life? Chris, quick check on LSU after losing Meadows. Yeah, man, LSU is imploding, man. Is imploding. Let's see. Jarvis S. Ivan Taylor's a dog. Yvonne Taylor's a 2 now. Ivan Taylor, dog. Yeah, I'm telling you. Bama got some kids in this class, man. Ivan Taylor is a dog as well. Absolutely. My guys, the Herbert Raj podcast. Herbert Raj saying, what's up? What's up, fellas? What's up, guys? What's up? Appreciate you guys helping us out here on the show. Let's see here. We got my girl Deborah is in here. Roll Tide. Tide rolling into the playoff. Deborah, that committee loved them some Bama. They had to put Bama in there. That committee loved them some Alabama. So they know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. Let's see here. My guy, Godfather Waylon. Hello, everybody. Appreciate you, Waylon. I think we had another super chat from Fuzzy Balls. We did a $4 super chat from Fuzzy Balls. Let's go. The committee's in a catch-22 because if they boot SMU out, future teams ranked 7 through 10 will just opt out of playing in championship games. Appreciate that from Fuzzy Balls right there. Godfather of the SEC, my guy. Then dropped in that $9.99 for donations right there. Sending us that super sticker. Appreciate that from Waylon. But appreciate all of you guys with your thoughts, writing into the show here. Let's see. C. Hutch writes in, Boise State deserves a spot in the college football playoff. Rules put them in. You know, I've always liked Boise. You know, blue field, the blue turf. See what happens. I've always liked Boise, and the Genty kid at running back is having a good season, having a Heisman season. He could definitely be in New York here for the Heisman Trophy. But appreciate all of you guys getting your thoughts in. 205-448-1358. But I'm going to call in and let your voice be made known. 205-448-1358. My man Waylon talking about Alabama men's basketball rolling versus North Carolina. Y'all check out Nate Oates and that Bama men's basketball team right now against the Tar Heels. Let's see here. We got Joseph Baxley writing in. I have faith, and I truly believe Bama can go to the Natty. It would be nice to play either Texas or Tennessee. In terms of the playoff, it would be nice to play Texas or Tennessee. I like round 1. Can we get Bama Notre Dame or Bama Penn State? I mean, the college football purist and historian in me is crying out for that. If Bama gets in here, can Bama play Notre Dame round 1 or Bama play Penn State round 1? The college football purist, the historian in me, wants that matchup to happen. But we continue with thoughts right here, calls right here. We're going to take this call, and guess what? You are live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name. Where you calling from?
Yes, this is Brian. I'm calling from Salem, Oregon.
Brian, what's happening? How we doing?
Man, I tell you what, this has been a roller coaster year for the Tide, but I tell you what, I've loved every second of it. I been a fan. I I still remember when Paul Bear Bryant stood under the goalpost of the Independence Bowl, sir.
You know that. You won the.
That was a
You are a
long
real
time
one, my
ago.
guy. You are a real one. Remembering the bear under that goalpost, you are a real one.
Yeah, I was a kid, but I tell you what, I still remember the Bear and his old teams and all the struggles and things. But I tell you what, tonight I'm just excited. The boys are in the playoffs, and I'll tell you what, I know it's been an up and down year, and the Tide faithful is always very emotional about their team. But keeping it positive, I think Kalen DeBoer and the staff has done overall an excellent job this year. Football ain't golf, not baseball. It's a very intimate, physical war. And when the boys are playing physical, who's going to stop them? Tell me, Steven, who's going to stop them when my boys are beating them up?
Look, man, when Bama is being Bama, can nobody run with this team?
That's right. That is right. I tell you, I know that old offensive coordinator. We can have our thoughts about him, but I tell you what, when the boys are being boys, he can't call a bad play. He tore Georgia's rear end up for 2 quarters.
The best in that first half against Georgia. And I kind of hate that he couldn't keep it going in that second half. But that first half against Georgia, Nick Sheridan was hitting them everywhere.
Well, and I tell you what, that offensive line was blowing Georgia's offensive line and keeping them in their place. Every blitz was, for the most part, picked up. And Milrow was picking their ass apart, excuse the language, but he was picking them apart. He was doing excellent. And, ball control, it seemed like the first half of the year, getting the run fit where it needed to be was kind of appeared to be a challenge. But, these folks might be bummed up. Pritchard might have been dealing with injuries this year. We just don't know exactly, where all these guys are. But if Bama's not beating Bama and Bama's being physical, I don't see how anybody can stop them. I hope we get Notre Dame. I don't care who we get. I hope we get Notre Dame, and I hope we play old school, north-south. Give me, 5th grade elementary football and run it right down their throat all day long. There we go.
Here, appreciate the call, my guy. You have a great Wednesday.
You got it. Y'all have a good evening. Thanks, Steve.
Absolutely.
Bye.
My guy calling in right there, helping us out on the show. We're going to go to this one right here. You're live on the show, baby. What's happening? This is my man, Smooth G. G from Raleigh. What's poppin', my boy?
What's good, my boy? How you doing, man? How you doing, Steve?
Man, I'm good, man. You got this playoff. You got Bama brought in some big-time signees in terms of recruits today. I'm doing well.
Yeah, that class had me worried because I don't know how the recruitment process goes. You would think teams would be drawn to like winning or losing would make a difference, but it really is. Even in the NIL era, it still shows that relationships and how the kids vibe with the coaching staff and the current kids there. Because for us to we didn't lose nobody today, right? Like everybody who was committed signed except Ty, right?
Everybody that was committed signed except for Ty Haywood, which Ty is going to hold his to February. I know Ty's right now being pulled by Michigan because Michigan trying to drop this NIL bag on him, but Ty is going to hold his till February.
Hey, you know what, man? You can't knock nobody. You will want the school. You will want the player to choose your school. But when it comes down to the money, you can't knock the kid, man. If you don't give him back and getting, what's his and giving it to his home and to himself. But outside of the National Signing Day, I want to talk about that game. Steve, it's so hot. It's so crazy, big dog. It's so crazy. We talked about 48 hours before that game kicked off, and we said we want to see those backs get. It wasn't even that many touches. I don't think we said 40 touches. We didn't say 40. We said something along the lines of about 15 or something, right? Bring it around a little bit.
25. About 25.
Yeah, but he done rolled out there and ran jam 30 times. And this is what I don't like, Steve. Because is he going to fool us? Because, he had me hyped. I called you after the Tennessee game. And what I say to you, big dog, I said, hey, even though we lost, I think this brand of football, in spite of the D-line, is the only shot we have. Because, you do have natties that was run off of offensive juggernauts. Our ring was Matt Jones. LSU ring with, what's that word name? Burrow?
Joe Burrow, yeah.
Yeah, so offensive dominant rings is a thing, right? So, Steve, I agree with the last caller, and me and you have agreed on this too. If Bama runs that ball at least upward of 40 times a night, and then you sprinkle in the backdoor Ryan, you sprinkle in, hey, that boy Bernard had a game, didn't he?
Boy had 7 catches for 111 yards.
Hey, but you know what though? I don't want to take away from nothing him and Miro did, but it was so many 101s because we ran the ball to damn death. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, it seems so simple when you watch it. It's like, bro, why won't we just run the ball 40 times every other night so it can free up the if Miro struggles when the secondary is clouded, when I mean by clouded, when the other team drops 6 or more, 7 or more, when they drop 7 and 6, he has an issue, right? But you saw last week when they put that ball on that ground, the secondary became just 4 deep, just 3 deep. You know what I'm saying? And it looked great. Steve, I still stick to my guns. I think we'll have a little trouble in the playoffs. I'm going to go ahead and say I think we're in the offs. It looked like the committee did the right thing and the Bama thing. Yes, I'm going to say it. We in there because we deserve it, but we in there because we Bama. Yeah, don't nobody get it twisted. I hope other people are watching. I hope some Miami fans are listening. Who else got screwed? I hope some others you got screwed fans are listening. Yes,
South
Bama
Carolina.
is in because we Bama. Yeah. We don't want to see them again anyway. Not the way Sellers and them boys are turned up. But man, big dog, I hate it because I don't want to get on that high horse and say, like, I think we could do it if we run the ball. Just to see Sheridan. With Sheridan, he'll come out here and try to put Miro out there.
I'm gonna just say this, G. There needs to be at least one moment where, and I don't know if I'm going to convince myself to do this. Maybe I do. There needs to be a moment where I just need to come out the box one time, come on the field, and just grab the sheet from Sheridan.
Oh man.
just have me,
hey, look.
just have me grab the sheet from him, and I'm trying, and I'm saying calling the plays. Lo and behold, I'm gonna find myself on the news, random person lead a booth to call Bama's offense.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? Sheridan and Walmart need to swap playbooks. We don't need Sheridan looking over 1,000 plays. We need him looking at them same little four that them same index card that Walmart decrease all that shit Sheridan get to look at, because that halfback dive we ran and that counter and toss we ran Saturday, it looked just like old school national championship Bama football. And when you look at it, Steve, they setting us up. I don't want to disrespect Notre Dame, but for me, Steve, I don't fear no team who don't have the speed. So you can be whoever you want to be, but if you don't line up, if you don't match up with speed, like a Tennessee, even an Oklahoma who was coached by a grade A defensive coordinator. They got a grade A D-line coach over the entire base. So, you know, that was people, like I say, people look at the record instead of looking up how certain people in certain matchups just align. There's certain things like Wishbone off, like Saban always said when his time was here. He said, I don't care how good you are. Nobody wants to play a Wishbone. You know what I'm saying? No matter who you got up front, it's just something about it. It's just the matchup of what you do. So, Steve, I'm not too sure if I'm on my high horse again, like how I was after the Tennessee loss. You know, I called you after that Tennessee loss, and I was real hopeful because he showed me a willingness to run the ball. I'm back on the hopeful side, and I'm gonna stay there if we can, you know, continue to run that ball. Now, I got one question before I leave. What's this chat about Haynes? Is he gonna leave?
So right now, I don't see it. There is some small communication going on out there that it may be possible, but I don't see it. I hope he doesn't. I really hope he doesn't because I like Justice Haynes. I really like I really like Justice Haynes. So hopefully he does not.
And you know what? I want all the bats. No, not the Miro, but I hope he stays because after Miro this year, you're going to have a quarterback who we can't run the ball like that. So it's going to have to be a super balance. So I hope he sticks it out and get his fair chance because, man, well, that small snippet we seen, I don't think nobody can stop that heavy run, Bama, Steve. Appreciate you. Holla at your boy.
Absolutely. My man G from Raleigh calling into the show here on a Wednesday. And appreciate all of you guys being a part of the show today. It was awesome. It was awesome having every last one of you guys calling in, letting your thoughts be made known here on the channel, getting ready to wrap things up here on the show. We got my man from Skyline checking in. My man from, appreciate you being a part of the show here. We got Christian Hughes. We are the standard Christian in here. Appreciate him. Man, we got Christian Hughes with that road tie. Stephen, appreciate you, Christian. Ben Allen, hit that like button, folks. Appreciate you being a part of the show. My guy, Big Bill, excellent call. Bill is in here being a part of the action. Monica Hubbard in here, excited to see Keelan Russell 2025. Ben is saying that Russell is Jayden Daniels 2.0. Hey, Keelan already saying, we trying to come in here and do something crazy. Win a national title. He's trying to win a Heisman Trophy. Travis Williams in here. Hey, Bama family, roll tide. Appreciate you, Travis, being a part here of the show. Sweet home Bama. 24, Ivan. I must break you. Taylor joins Bama Nation. That guy's a dog as a defensive back. Keena Bina writing in. Who would y'all compare Keelan Russell to? Man, so I can see a little Jayden Daniels, Keelan Russell. I don't have a comparison right now. I'm going to definitely sleep on it. And Keena, I will get back to you on that, though. Let's see, Apostle Kelsey. My boy, Kelsey Shepard. We got to recruit the state better, though. Guys from other places will bring a vanilla-style play, man. I wish we had more players from the state. Kelsey, you my dude. You from the Montgomery area. The board needs to put a border around the state and get these in-state kids. You got talent in Montgomery. You got talent in Hoover. You got talent in Mountain Brook. You got talent in Prattville. You got talent in Mobile. You got talent in Huntsville. You got talent all over the state. Put a border over the state and make sure you get these kids from the state. Absolutely. Appreciate my Coach Smoke Network Road Top. Appreciate you, Smoke, being a part here of the show. I know a lot of people are talking about, this SMU Clemson game. My guy, Jason Hayward is in there with that $5 donation. Jason writes in, do you think SMU has enough to take down Dabo? I think he does. I think they do. SMU got speed. They got an offense. I know Dabo is seasoned in college football playoff games, but SMU got that offense, though. We're going to see. We're going to see, people. We are going to see what happens here on Saturday. I'll tell you what, I'm going to be glued to this TV. For real. Let's see here. Absolutely knock the state down. You got to knock the state down. Ben writes in, Steven, you need to bring Smook on more. Well, hey, give him a call. Give him a call. We're going to try to see if we can make that happen. We're going to try to see if we can make that happen right there. Let's see here. Deborah writes in, built by Bama. Hey, you got to be Bama built around here. But the main thing is, if I'm Coach DeBoer, put a border around the state. You got to get those in-state kids. Trainwreck 70. I'm saying if you see his tape, Keelan Russell is more the passer. If you see the tape, Keelan's more of the passer. He sets up his arm. He steps into the throw. He layers the ball in. He can make any throw you want to have out there on the field. Keelan is more of a passer. More of a pure passer of the football. Patricia Purdue, appreciate you being in here. Ben Allen, I'll broker the deal. Hey, appreciate you. Hey, appreciate you being right there. From is giving us our basketball update. Bama 65, UNC 50. Let's go, Nate Oates. Let's get it. Bama 65, North Carolina 50, Tolbert St. OG. What's happening, baby? How we doing in here? Royal Quality, Coach Debo have to take over that offensive play calling. So Royal Quality saying, DeBoer, take that playbook and you run this. Trainwreck, he's a taller Bryce Young type. Scrambles with his eyes downfield and accurate. So Trainwreck is saying, hey, Keelan Russell is like, he's a taller Bryce Young. Let's see this. Let's see this pop. I'm ready to see this thing pop when it pops. But appreciate all of you guys being a part of tonight's show. All of you guys calling in, getting your voices be made known here on the network, chatting in, making today special for yours truly. I appreciate every last one of you guys. As always, you can access the Touchdown Alabama Magazine app. You get the app by going to the iPhone App Store if you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store if you got the Android phone. For your audio needs, hit this up. iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, iHeartRadio. We got you covered right there. The good and gracious Lord sees fit. I'll be back on Friday. Continuing the conversation that is Tide football. Remember, Bama fans, you get that subscription to touchdownalabama.com. Do that right now. Pick up you a subscription to touchdownalabama.com. You will not be disappointed with that. Appreciate all of you guys for the donations, the calls. You guys make this show special. You make it what it is. Till next time, folks. Husbands, love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Kiddos, do the right thing, fun thing, smart thing, good thing, legitimate thing to not be bored there. You get yourself those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. You protect yourself. You protect the loved ones around you. Enjoy the game this weekend between Bama and, not Bama, but SMU and Clemson. Hopefully we get what we need to get. Till next time, folks, I'm your man, Stephen M. Smith. You've been listening. In my own words.